So I prostrate myself at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas who are assembled on the Zoom call or in any other platform, or who will be hearing this at any point in future. So I seek your prayers, your blessings, so that I can be empowered by your prayers for the next some time while we are discussing this wonderful topic, the glories of Sri Tulsi Maharani. वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवश्च च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवश्च च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवश्च च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः. I offer my respectful obeisance again and again, again and again, thousands and millions of times at to Shri Tulsi Maharani, who is Bhakti Pradayini, who is the giver, because Krishna has given this charge to give bhakti to his pure devotees. And there is very nice verse in Vrinda Ashtakam. Let's start with that. Bhaktya vihina paradha lakshay क्षिप्तश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ने वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्. Bhaktya Vihinam. I have no devotion. I have no bhakti for Tulsi Maharani. Aparadha Lakshay. But I have one thing, not just one or two, in thousands and millions. What do I have? Aparad. I have so many bad qualities, so many sinful desires, so many sinful propensities I have, so many sinful activities I have committed. And I have fallen. Shipatascha Kamadi Taranga Madhye. In these waves of lust, I am just floating from here to there. I have so many sinful activities, so many sinful desires. But Tulsi Maharani, you are Kripamai. Please accept me as your servant. I take shelter of you. Vrinde Namaste Charanar. I offer my humble pranam. I bow down at your lotus feet. So, with this, I don't have any qualification. All I have is impurities. But by glorifying Tulasi Maharani, hopefully I can try to overcome my impurities and try to develop some tinge of faith and devotion towards Tulsi Maharani. That is my only request, prayer, and desire. So, before we start, Vrinda Devi is the the expansion of Srimati Radharani. And this verse, Vrinda Devi is the Nitya Sakhi of Srimati Radharani. All the Sakhis are basically there to enhance the pleasure, to enhance the rasa of the pastime. So she is the eternal servant of Srimati Radharani, the orchestrator of all the pastimes, of the Madhurya rasa especially. And when Sri Radha and Krishna descends in the material world, so she also descends as Sakhi Vrinda and also as the Tulasi plant with beautiful leaves, manjaris, etc. And there are multiple pastimes in multiple kalpas. Kalpa is referring to a day of Brahma. We have discussed. So she descends in multiple different pastimes and multiple um, pastimes are there to explain the origin of Tulsi Maharani in the material world from the spiritual. Long story short, we'll not go a lot in the details, but it is only a transcendental curse was arranged, sometimes by Srimati Radharani curses, sometimes Lakshmi Devi curses, Vrinda Devi, that you go and descend in the material world, that you are not fit to be here. Of course, Vrinda Devi being the internal pleasure potency or the expansion of Srimati Radharani, all the pleasure potencies, whether Lakshmi or Mata Sita, are basically the expansions of Srimati Radharani to enhance the transcendental pleasure of Lord Madhava, Lord Keshava. So, so she was cursed in short, but not going in a lot of details. So then she got in one of the stories, and it is mentioned in Brahma Vaivarta Puran, in Padma Puran, Skanda Puran. Lot of Puranas mention this pastime in different ways. So you may have heard some of those. You may have. So don't get over technical on this. Like, oh, this Purana says that. It, as we have discussed in Bhagavatam also, as we are reading, that different times the Lord sometimes can appear in the first Manvantar and in the fifth Manvantar, and then he can stay, Varadev can stay in the water for 1 to 5 Manvantar and then come back again. Nothing is impossible for the Lord and for his pure devotees. So, with that spirit, we can try to understand this. And then she got married to this king named Shankachuda or Jalandhar. Of course, she did lots and lots of tapasya in Badrik Ashram, thousands and thousands of years, to get whom? Lord Narayan as her husband. But there was a transcendental pastime arranged, and then she got married to this king, who was actually a demon, or who was. So he practically, ruled all the demigods, and the demigods went to Lord Shiva for help, and Lord Shiva even could not do much to help the demigods. So their fight was like unending. And then finally, they approached Lord Vishnu that you have to intervene in this matter to help us out. And then there was a transcendental voice that until two things are there, until the chastity of Vrinda Devi or Sati Vrinda is present, her husband will not be destroyed. And then that Shankachuda, or sometimes referred as Jalandhar, had that armor, the kavach around his chest, then no one can destroy him. So Lord Vishnu disguised as a Brahmana and asked for the kavach. So the kavach was gone. And for the next condition, Lord Vishnu disguised as when Jalandhar had gone to fight, Lord Vishnu disguised as Jalandhar and went to Vrinda, and Vrinda touched the feet, and so basically her satitva was destroyed, and at that point Jalandhar was killed. But when Sati Vrinda realized all this fact, that this person is not my husband, and then she asked, she was very angry. I mean, any woman would be angry at that point. That who are you? Why don't you talk? Why don't you tell? Why don't you reveal your true identity? So Lord Vishnu didn't speak at that time anything. He was just silent. And then she cursed Lord Vishnu. Of course, this is all transcendental, so you have to always keep that in mind. So finally, uh, Lord Vishnu was cursed that you are acting like a stone, like hard-hearted stone, so you become a stone. Okay, and then Lord Vishnu becomes Shaligram Shila. So it's not an ordinary stone. Every stone is not Shaligram Shila. Every stone we don't worship on the altar, but Shaligram Shila is not different from Lord Vishnu. We had this famous story of Shri Radharaman temple, that how Shaligram Shila was manifested into the Radharaman deity. And all the great souls, all the great acharyas used to worship Shaligram Shila because it's non-different from Lord. And there are multiple Shaligram Shilas like Nrsimha, Deva, etc., Chakra. And where are they found? So they're found in the Gandaki River, which is presently in Nepal. I believe, yes, it's in Nepal. So then Lord Vishnu, of course, didn't retaliate because that's the transcendental arrangement. Even a blade of grass cannot move without the sanction of the Lord. So how can this whole pastime be orchestrated without the sanction of the Lord? So Lord wanted this to happen. And the Lord said, the Lord then finally reminded Sati Vrinda that what was your prayers you have been asking me as your husband. So this all was orchestrated because you did a lot of tapasya to get me as your husband. But this is all transcendental arrangement. So you will become, your body will become Gandaki river. So Vrinda Devi's body became Gandaki river. And her hairs will become the plant, the holy plant, Tulsi Maharani. So it's not different from Vrinda Devi. So that was the arrangement. And today is the day where Tulsi Maharani, the Tulsi plant, is married to the Shaligram Shila, the Tulsi Vivadi. So, so that's a brief background about Vrinda Devi. And as I said, in multiple kalpas, there are multiple stories. Sometimes Lakshmi ji cursed Vrinda Devi, sometimes Radharani, etc. Sometimes Yamuna Devi. Uh, so Tulsi Maharani, Vrinda Devi also has a parrot. Her parrot's name is Daksha. And Daksha has thousands and lakhs and millions of disciples. It is basically they work in coordination to communicate. Oh, where is Srimati Radharani? Where is Krishna? Where is Jatila? Where is Kutila? So that all the pastimes can be nicely coordinated. Like these days, we have WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. for communication or phones. But Vrindavan is transcendental. So these parrots are you will see always in the hand of Vrinda Devi. Also in Nandagaon, we have this wonderful uh, Vrinda Kund. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So currently, ISKCON is taking care of this. So it's basically the planning commission where all the pastimes are coordinated, and the beautiful deity of Sri Vrinda Devi is present in this Vrindakund. So whenever you go next, please go to Vrindakund. And I briefly mentioned about Tulsi Shaligram Viva. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas are, worship Radha Krishna more in the mood of separation, but it is still a festival in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So now we'll focus more on the glories of Tulsi Maharani. From various scriptures, there are unlimited glories, and of course, talking about Tulsi Maharani's glories in 30, 40 minutes is certainly not possible, but just we can touch the surface. We'll start with the Pranam mantra. We all are singing this or should be singing this. Vrindai Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti or Vishnu Bhakti Pratidevi Satyavate Namo Namah. O Vrinda Devi, O Tulsi Maharani, Priya, you are very, very dear. To whom? Keshava. You are very, very dear to Lord Keshava. And what do you give? You give Vishnu Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti. So this Priyai Keshava means Keshava is very, very dear to Lord Vishnu, to Tulsi Maharani, and Tulsi Maharani is very, very dear to Keshava. Krishna is very, very dear to his devotees, and devotees are very, very dear to Krishna. We discussed that in the story of Gopashtami also, that how cows were ready to do anything for Krishna, and Krishna was ready to do anything for the cows. Because devotees live in the heart of the Lord, and Krishna lives in the heart of his devotees. So this is and we should try to understand the meanings of the prayers we are pranam mantras arati etc whatever we are singing, so it will add to more meaning. So in the Skanda Purana, it is said that Tulasi is auspicious in all respects simply by seeing or touching or remembering or praying to or bowing down or hearing about Tulasi or planting this tree. Every way there is all auspiciousness. And anyone who comes in touch with Tulasi tree, in either ways, one who touches it, one who plants, one who gives it to others, one who waters, one who is praying, one who is bowing down, etc., what will happen? Lives eternally in the Vaikuntha world. There are all this is from scriptures. It's not some Tom, Dick, Harry speaking. The Shastras are speaking this. I'm just repeating it here. When the dead body is being burned, even if some small piece of tulsi wood is put in the fire, then that person will attain to the spiritual world by the touch of all other, by touch of tulsi, all other wood is purified. So even a small wood, even in the Kartik month, of course, it's the end, we can offer even tulsi when we offer like some dried tulsi wood in the lamp, that's like million times more benefit. So we can certainly do. Of course, we should not harm Tulsi Maharani just to do that. If there is a dried plant, or if it is dried somehow by other, if the plant is dried and there is dry tulsi wood, then we can use that for offering in the lamp or in the yajna. What do the messengers of Lord Vishnu do? When they see such a fire in which has tulsi woods burning, they immediately come and take the person whose body has been burned to the spiritual world. So even if the person is atheistic, agnostic, no Krishna consciousness throughout the life, this is something the relatives can do. I mean, we all should know this because Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. Life is very, very uncertain. Just to yesterday only, one of our online congregation members, some of you may be knowing, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, her husband was just like around 40 years, and it was very, very sudden and like there was everything was fine, and suddenly Krishna's plans are inconceivable that he is no more, his body is no more. So please, I request everyone to please pray for that great soul and the family. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The messengers of Yamaraj will not come to that place where Tulsi wood is burning. So even in the dead body, the person is dying, they have done no good qualities or have done no good karma, and at least we can ask, okay, now is the person is done. Now you can do something good. So that person which has been burned by Tulsi wood goes to spiritual world. And on his way, all the demigods shower flowers. Wow. And when Lord Vishnu and Shiva see that person on his way to spiritual world, they become very happy and bless him. And Lord Krishna comes before him and taking his hand, he takes him to his own abode. This is from Padma Puran in the Patala Kanda. So all this is from scriptures. Krishna is willing to sell himself to his devotee. That much to what kind of devotee? One who offers Tulasi leaf. In Bhagavad Gita, also chapter 9, text number 26, Krishna says that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. If anyone offers what? Patram. The first article Krishna is asking is offer Patram, is leaf, but not any leaf. In that, Prabhupada mentions specifically in the purport, we are referring to Tulsi Maharani. Because Tulasi is Krishna Priyasi, Govinda Priya, Krishna Priya. So if we offer Tulasi Maharani at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna with love and devotion, all these articles, whether it is the lamp, whether it is the Tulasi leaf, whether it is some bhoga, whether it is water or fruits or flowers, everything should be offered with great love and devotion. So the first article over there mentioned is Patra. Now one may wonder what is the benefit? One may say, what will happen? Right? Because we are all have that kind of mentality. I'm talking about myself. What will happen if I offer Tulasi leaf? So this nice verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela says this. Tulasi dalamatrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinete swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Tulasi dal. Dala means leaf. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala. So Tulasi leaf, one who offers Tulasi leaf. Krishna is not saying, offer me a gold leaf, offer me some millions of dollars or rupees, or offer me big, big things. Of course, if one has that, one should offer. So Tulasi dal, even one little leaf of Tulasi Maharani. Jalasya, chullu. In India, we say if someone does something bad or like, they say chullu bhar pani mein doob jao. In Hindi, they say that. So chullu basically means palm full of water, little water. Not saying offer me gallons of water or barrels of water. Just little water, little Ganga jal. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Vikrinete. Vikrinete means Krishna saying, in exchange, I will sell myself to that devotee who offers me what? Tulasi Dala. Matra Tulsi Dala. Why? Because he is Bhakta Vatsala. He is very, very merciful to his devotees. Krishna sees that he is offering me something which is very, very dear to me. What can I give in return? Giving, some job or income or home or car is very, very low in the eyes of the God. But Krishna is very, very kind to us. So he will give the best thing. And what is the best thing? He'll come inside our heart. He will he will be bound by the love of his devotee. That's the best thing. He becomes a servant of his devotees. He is willing to sell himself. Merely simple act of offering Tulsi Maharani, Tulsi leaf. So there are multiple pastimes in this connection. So we know the Govardhan story, that how Lord Giriraj, when Krishna manifested in the form of Giriraj, and he was asking, Aniyor, 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 give me more, I want more. And then the Brahmana said, give Tulsi Maharani, one leaf, Matra, Tulsi Dala. He was then pacified, he did a burp. Advaita Charya, what did he do? To call Lord Gauranga in this world, he offered Tulasi, and this verse is exactly in that connection. When Advaitacharya meditated upon this verse, which we just sang, I request everyone to try to learn this, which is not very difficult. So he offered Ganga Jal and Tulasi leaf to Shaligram Shila. And the Lord says, I'll sell myself to that devotee. So the Lord came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas Thakur was always chanting 24/7 in front of Tulasi Maharani. The prostitute came to um, corrupt the mind of Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur said, well, let me complete my quota of rounds and then I'll fulfill your desires. And finally, Haridas Thakur said, she touched Tulsi Maharani, she circumambulated Tulsi Maharani, and she heard the voice of pure devotee, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the prostitute transformed into the pure devotee. That's the power of again Tulsi Maharani. And what did Haridas Thakur tell her? To reside here in this kutia, in this small place, the hut, chant holy names in front of Tulasi Maharani. Very, very powerful. When we chant in front of Tulsi Maharani, on almost all these ISKCON temples, you will see after the morning program is done, devotees gather in small groups around and sit around in circles and they chant around Tulsi Maharani. Because it is from the scriptures. Haridas Thakur was doing that. All the great souls were doing that. The fourth story here is about in Dwarka, when Satyabhama sold Krishna to Narada Muni, and then she was thinking, well, I have a lot of wealth. I have a lot of pearls and necklaces and golds and rubies. I can buy back Krishna. Buyback program. Maybe coming from here. The first she told from Narada Muni. Okay, Narada Muni told that, okay, you can give equivalent amount of gold. So we'll put Krishna on one side of the balance, the weighing, the Raju, and other side we'll put golds and whatever jewelry you have. So she kept bringing stuff, but Krishna was still so heavy, and the gold was here. Krishna was no, there was no match. So basically, all the jewelry, all the everything was empty. And then they were thinking, well, from Dwarka we have turned to Vrindavan. From all the opulence is gone. Then Mata Rukmini came and said, Krishna will be pleased by Tulsi Maharani. So they put one Tulasi Dala Matrena, one leaf of Tulasi, and Krishna up, and the balance, the Tulsi Maharani, is heavy. So which shows that the devotion is heavier. So bhakta is sometimes, bhaktya mam abhijananti. A devotee is greater than the Lord sometimes. So many pastimes are there in this regard. And of course, I just like touch the surface. They're very detailed pastimes, but we'll discuss more if time permits. And the four Kumaras also, they were Brahman realized, but when they smelled the fragrance of Tulasi Maharani coming from the inside of the Vaikuntha, then they were the Bhagavan realized. So many pastimes are there in this regard, which explain the glories of Tulasi Maharani. The Tulsi Pradakshina mantra. We all do. The Pradakshina means circumambulation. Yani kani cha papani, Yani kani cha papani. Any kinds of papa or sinful actions, even to the extent of Brahma Hatya, Adi. Adi means etc. Brahma Hatya, etc. In Hindi we say Adi. Tani tani pranashyanti. Pranashyanti means destroyed. Pradakshina pade pade. At every step we are taking to circumambulate Tulsi Maharani, she destroys all the sinful reactions, even to the extent of killing a Brahmana or a Brahmahatya. This is a very nice mantra called Tulsi Chayan mantra. We can try to learn this. The Tulasi Amrita Janmasi Sada Tvam Keshava Priya Keshavartha Chinomi Tvam Varada Bhava Shobhani. O Tulasi, you have born from Amrita. As I said, in multiple kalpas, she's born from different leelas. So she's also born from the churning of the ocean. Sada Tvam Keshava Priya. Again, this word Keshava Priya. You are always very, very dear. Keshav Artha Chinomi Tvam. I am doing your chayan, Chinomi, not for my sense gratification, not to make a herbal tea and drink it for my senses. Oh, very, very healthy. That's not the goal of devotees. My goal is to put Tulsi Maharani for Keshava, at the lotus feet of Keshava, or to offer bhoga to Keshava, because Lord will not accept me, what I cook, or whatever articles I offer. But if you are there, O Tulsi Maharani, the Lord will accept my insignificant offering also, whether it is offering bhoga, whether it is offering water or anything. Why do we put, sometimes you may see before initiation, at that ceremony, the senior Vaishnavas put a new Tulasi Mala in the necks of the initiates. Why? So that the spiritual master is declaring that, oh Krishna, the devotee is like the bhoga, and Tulasi is like the, when we put Tulasi on top, then you accept the bhoga. It's a very deep meaning. So if we also put Tulsi Mala in our neck, Kanti Mala, then Krishna will accept us. So one who chants this mantra while picking Tulsi leaf and then offers Lord Krishna, the result is 10 million times more. But we don't pluck on Dwadashi day. So we have to be careful. So we can pluck the previous day or the day before. Now some verses about the spiritual potency of Tulsi Maharani. Nirantar namalo kara tulasi sevana achirat pabit abha krishnira charana. All these pictures are actually in Sri Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan, ISKCON Temple. I went there and I was so inspired. I just clicked all these pictures. So all these pictures you're seeing are from Vrindavan Dham. So we are mentally in Sri Krishna Balram Mandir. So what does it say? Nirantar. Nirantar means without pause. What do we do? Namalo. Who is chant the holy name of Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Kara Tulasi Sevana. And do what? Render service to Tulasi. What will happen? Someone will say, Baba, why should I do? If someone wants Krishna Charana, if someone wants to get lotus feet of the Lord, or Chirat, Chiram, we say sometimes, like Chiramji, the elders give Ashirvad. Chiram Jivi Bhava. Chiram, may you have a long life. So Chiram means a long period. Achirat means very, very short time. A short period. In very, very short period, what will happen to whom? Who is rendering service to Tulsi Maharani and chanting the holy names in very, very short period. Very, very soon he will get the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. Again, Chaitanya Chaitamrita. And where should the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a vow before the Tulasi plant has very strong spiritual potency. This is from the purport, from that verse. And we discussed that at how Haridas Thakur was doing chanting his fixed number of rounds. I'll just read the English of this one. This is from Skanda Puran. Seeing Tulasi destroys all the sins. Touching her purifies the body. Bowing to her destroys all sufferings. Sprinkling her with water delivers one from death. Planting her bestows attachment to the mind of Lord Krishna. Offering her to Krishna's lotus feet bestows special liberation in the form of prema bhakti. Unto that Tulsi Maharani I offered my humble pranam. So many verses, and all these are from the holy scriptures. Krishna never accepts anything without Tulsi Maharani. Tulasi rahitam pujam nagrihanti sadahari kashtam vas parashaye yatra no chetano amato yajet. The Supreme Lord Hari never accepts anyone's worship without Tulasi Maharani. Therefore, if Tulasi leaves are not available, then one can use Tulasi wood to touch the Supreme Lord's body. If Tulasi wood is not available, one should chant the name of Tulasi while worshipping Lord Hari. And if somebody worships demigods, very important, with Tulasi, then they get the sin of killing Brahmana or cow and enjoying the wife of his own spiritual master. So basically, these three are very, very sinful. So one should not put Tulsi at the lotus feet of Jiva Tattva, or we only put Tulsi at on Vishnu Tattva. That means Lord Krishna, Rama, Nrsimha Dev, Jagannath, etc. Not even to Radharani, or not even to Prabhupada or Spirit, because they will not like it. It's not a, so philosophically we have to be clear. It's not a matter of sentiment just. So, so basically Krishna does not accept anything without Tulasi, whether it is bhoga, whether it is a jiva, whether it is anything. So we must put Tulasi Maharani. Now 9 processes to worship Tulasi Maharani. दृष्टा स्पृष्टा तथा ध्याता कीर्तिता नामिता स्तुता रोपिता सेविता नित्यं पूजिता तुलसी शुभा नवधा तुलसी देवीं ये भजन्ति दिने दिने युग कोटि सहस्राणि te vasanti hare grihe. Again from Skanda Puran. Those who worship the auspicious Tulasi daily, dine dine. How? By Navadha Tulasi Devi. So Navadha Bhakti we have Shravanam Kirtanam. So this is for specifically for Tulsi Maharani. So what are the 9 processes? Namely seeing. Drishta, just by seeing. If one does not do anything, even just seeing Tulsi Maharani, one will get benefit. Then what? Touching the tulasi leaf, touching the dust, the soil where Tulsi Maharani is planted. So some of you may have seen that after circumambulation, we touch the Tulsi Maharani's soil and put it on our head. Why do we do that? Because that soil is non-different from Raja Raja. Tulasi name is Vrinda, so it's Vrindavan. So it's not different from Raja Raja. So we should know why are we doing something. And if we don't know, we should not hesitate to ask the other Vaishnavas. So seeing, touching, meditating, glorifying as we are trying to do. And glorifying, one who glorifies, one who hears gets the same benefit. So don't feel you're not glorifying. You're also equally glorifying. Offering obeisance. We all offer obeisance. We all must offer and chant the pranam mantras, praising. So the pranam mantra is basically praising Tulsi Maharani. Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavascha. You are very, very dear to Tulsi Maharani. Sorry, Lord Keshava. Then planting, serving her, worshipping her. So what happens? Those people who do all these 9 processes, they live in the Lord's home for 10 billion yugas. So basically, they go back home, back to Godhead. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, and also from Skanda Purana. So many verses which just glorify Tulsi Maharani and her spiritual qualities endlessly. Then now this verse, Ekadashi Vratam Gita Ganga Ambu Tulasi Dalam Vishnu Padambu Namani Marane Muktidani Cha. The following of Ekadashi Vrata. So 6 items are mentioned. Ekadashi Vrata, Bhagavad Gita, Ganga water, placing Tulasi Maharani, Tulsi leaf, prasadam in the mouth after it's offered to the Lord. chanting of the holy name. These six items bestow liberation even for the dying. Garud Purana. And wherever there is shade of Tulasi Maharani or Tulsi tree, it removes the pain of material existence. There is always liberation from death. Such liberation is difficult to attain even by giving gifts like money or some other. What can we give? Just by the shade of Tulasi Maharani. Therefore, in traditionally in every Indian household in Vedic culture, even if they don't know it or know it, Tulsi Maharani was always present. Now, the because of lack of Krishna consciousness and lack of spiritual understanding, this culture is getting spoiled. But still, even those people who have converted to certain other religions, they still also have Tulsi Maharani. So knowingly, unknowingly, the benefit they'll get. 8 names of Tulsi Maharani. Vrinda, Vrindavani, Vishwapavani, Vishwapujita, Nandani, Krishna Jivani, Pushpashara Tulasi. So I request everyone to please try to learn this. So anyone, let me tell the first Shruti first that will inspire. Anyone while worshipping Tulsi Maharani chants these 8 names will get the same result as one who performs the Ashwamedh Yajna. And for one who on the full moon day of Kartik, which is today, that today is Kartik Purnima, worships her with this mantra. So today, at least chant this 10 times. If you want to chant more, you can always chant more, but you can chant 11 times, 21 times, 51 times. Will break free from the bonds of this miserable world of birth and death and very quickly attain Goloka Vrindavan on the full moon day of Kartik. Lord Krishna himself worshipped Tulasi Devi with this mantra. Wow, this is amazing. One who remembers this mantra will very quickly attain devotion to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. All this is from the authorized scriptures. So, Vrindavani, one who is manifested in Vrindavan. Vrinda, Vrinda Devi we discussed. Vrinda also means groups. The Tulsi Maharani is found in groups. So rather than having one Tulsi Maharani, it's always good to have two, three, multiple Tulsi Maharanis. How much we can do nicely service, we should not ignore, but it's always nice to have multiple because she likes good association. We said Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Bhakta Vrinda. Groups, Bhakta Vrinda. Vishwa Pujita. One who is, the whole world is worshipping. Vishwa Pujita. Vishwa Pavini. She purifies the whole world. Pushpashara. We say Bhakta Shiromani, Prahlad Maharaj. So Pushpashara is the best amongst the flowers, the topmost of all flowers. Offering one Tulasi leaf is equivalent to offering 10,000 flowers. In offering one Tulasi Manjari to the Lord is equivalent to offering 10,000 Tulasi leaves. That means equal to 100 million flowers approximately, if I did the math right. That's the power of Tulsi Maharani in offering Tulasi leaf and Tulasi Manjari. Nandani, she gives happiness, Ananda, to everyone. Krishna Jivani, her life and soul is Keshava, and Keshava's or Krishna's life and soul is Tulasi. Krishna Jivani, she gives life to the Lord. Tulasi, jiski tulna na ho. She is uncomparable. There is no other match. So, Atulani. So that's her 8 names. So please try to learn these and chant these, especially today. In the Padma Puran, what does Lord Shiva tell? Sage Narada. O Narada, wherever Tulasi grows, there is no misery. She is the holiest of the holy. Wherever the breeze blows, her fragrance, there is purity. Vishnu showers blessing on those who worship and grow Tulasi. Tulsi the sacred because Brahma resides in the roots. Wow. Brahma resides. Vishnu resides in the stems and leaves, and Rudra resides in the flowering tops, referring to Manjaris. So Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are residing. Brahma in the roots, Vishnu in the stems and the leaves, and the Rudra in the Manjaris. Tulasi is glorified throughout the Puranas and the Pancharatra. We just discussed so many Skanda Puran, Padma Puran, Brahma Vaivarta Puran. Vishnu created Tulasi at the time of churning of the ocean of milk for the spiritual upliftment of these people in this material world. She has descended for us to help us, not like how Lord Chaitanya says, Tumara loinu, hoinu avatara, that I have descended for you. So the great souls, so Srila Prabhupada came for whom? For us. Tulsi Maharani have come to help us. So I mentioned this that how one tulsi leaf is 10,000 flower and one manjari is equivalent to offering 10,000 leaves. Giving one pot, so for those who have extra pots, and I know so many devotees in Tampa give, which is very nice service actually. It is equivalent to giving 10 crore or 1 crore cows, 10 million cows. Can we do that? Just giving one tulsi pot. If you have extra, so please tell, share with your friends who have little faith in Tulsi Maharani. Share the glories of Tulsi Maharani, and everyone should have a few Tulsi Maharanis at home. Now talking about Tulasi, Kantimala. I mentioned that how in the initiation ceremonies also it is the first thing which is done. It uplifts us from the material world. Taking bath with the neck beads is equivalent to taking bath in all the tirthas. Following, and there are certain rules and regulations, basically the four regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. So one must follow and take Tulsi Mala in one's neck. It will uplift. The Yamadutas can't touch the person who has Tulsi Mala in the neck and tilak on their body. So it's like a declaration, that I am Krishna's pet dog. Krishna, ami to tumhara kukura. Oh Vaishnava Thakura, ami to tumhara kukura. I am your pet dog. I am not a stray dog. I'll not let my mind and senses wander in different directions. I want to live under submission, because living under submission is the secret to real freedom. A pet dog, a stray dog thinks I am free, but all he is free is to get the kicks of Maya. But a pet dog just accepts the subordinate or submission under the master, and he gets everything. He doesn't get, in India, you have seen the situation of stray dogs, right? In the winter, they are struggling with the cold. In the summer, they don't have food to eat. They're struggling with the heat. They're fighting with other stray dogs. They get injured. And no one is there. Sometimes they will be in an accident, dead on the road. So very bad situation. And they think they are free. So a person who does not take shelter of Krishna thinks I'm free to do anything. Oh, I can go to this mall and that mall, this country, that country. I can enjoy. Life is, I'm boss. But that's like a stray dog who is getting kicks of Maya every day. As we were reading yesterday also. Eating 10 pills every day, Prabhupada was mentioning. But one thing, so I'm enjoying. Suffering so much. But once takes shelter of the master, Krishna, then Krishna takes care. When the when the municipality van comes to capture all the stray dogs, they will not touch the pet dog, because the pet dog belongs to the master. So similarly, when Yamadutas, the Maya's agents will come, they cannot touch someone who has Kantimala or someone who has the tilak. Scriptures go even to the extent by saying that this is a little heavy, that one who does not have Kantimala, all the food one is eating is basically is like, and I'm not saying is like stool, animal stool. The scriptures are saying this. So I want to share this story, like how Tulsi Maharani uplifts. Way back when I was very young, and my father was telling this story. My brother used to jump in the pool, my elder brother, and he would have floaters. These kids have floaters. The pool is deep, but the floaters don't allow the child to drown, right? I hope you're all getting the concept. So the pool is deep. If the child does not have floater, he does not know how to swim in the world, the child will drown. So my brother was very young, and he didn't know what the floaters. The child may even not know what this floaters or what this air and buoyancy, gravitation and center of mass, body. The child does not know all that. That how these floaters are helping him to stay up. Similarly, a fool like me may not even know fully the knowledge of Tulasi Maharani. But if it just accepts, just put this floater and follow the process, then the child will stay aloof. But one time, he forgot. He forgot to put his floaters. And he was eager to jump in the pool. So he jumped in the pool. And guess what? He was not wearing the floaters and he didn't know how to swim. So where will he go? He go inside. So he was drowning. Then a rescue guard saw him and jumped, dived in, and took him out. And then the rescue guard gave him floaters and he said, "Now you jump." So my kind of reflection. So the child, in this case, my elder brother, when he was maybe 3, 4 years old, represents Jiva. Is like Jiva, and the floaters are like Tulasi Maharani. The pool is like the material world, this ocean of material world. So when we have Tulasi Maharani, we are nicely following the rules and regulations, then we will stay afloat. We will not drown in the material world. But if we take this out, and initially who comes? The rescue guard is like Guru. The Guru comes and takes us out and gives us Tulasi Mala. Hey, you chant on Tulasi Mala, you put the Tulasi Tilak, you put Kanti Mala, and don't forget it. If you forget it, then you will drown. But if you follow the process nicely, then you will not drown in this material world. Then the spiritual master takes that I will deliver you from this material world. So I just thought it was really, uh, I like to connect with that. It is so important to have Tulasi Mala to, so that we are declaring, Krishna, I'm your servant. And this question comes multiple times, that should we use Tulasi Maharani for medical purposes? No, devotees should not use. Very simple. There was a pastime of Prabhupada also in Honolulu Temple in Hawaii. They opened a restaurant that and started making these teas and this and that with the Tulsi Maharani. Prabhupada didn't like the whole idea, because Tulasi Amrita Janmasi Sadatvam Keshava Priya Keshavartha Chinomi Tvam. It's not for Swartha Chinomi Nam. I'm not choosing you. I'm not taking you out for my own selfish things. But this should be discussed. In general, this should not be used. But if there is in discussion with senior Vaishnavas or spiritual master, then case to case, that can be taken separately. But it should not be a general practice for sure. So on this special day, there are so many glories about Tulsi Maharani. So for those who don't have Tulsi Kantimala, it is my humble request, plea, to please put it, because scriptures are saying it. Otherwise, whatever we are doing, it's not good. It will not have it will have very minimal effect. And Tulsi Maharani will help us in unlimited ways. She will give us more spiritual strength. She's like a mother, helping us in different ways to purify us, to help us in our sadhana. So on this day of Tulsi Vivah, we can pray to Mother Tulsi Maharani to please, I have I have aparadha lakshay, I have so many bhaktya vihinam. I have no devotion, but I have thousands of aparadhas or sinful desires. O Kripamai, I take your shelter. Please grant me only one thing. In all that the prayer being singing, Morai Abhilash Vilas Kunji Diyovas. I have only one desire, so that I can serve Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. I'm Anyabhilashita Shunyam. I'm not asking for my own selfish, some new job, new visa, and this and that. What is the use of that if I don't take shelter of Radha and Krishna? Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya Janiya Shunya Vishekhainu. So Tulsi Maharani is very, very merciful, and we can also support Kantimala and offer Tulsi Maharani every day to the Lord, offer manjaris to the Lord, take care of Tulsi Maharani nicely, and serve her nicely, and tell others about her importance of Tulsi Maharani. Chant the prayers, which Lord Krishna personally sang, the 8 verses, the 8 names. There are 108 names also of Tulsi Maharani. So sometimes we can chant that as well. So, with that, I want to thank you all for giving me this chance to purify myself by singing the glories of Tulsi Maharani and purifying myself. And whoever shares, hears, asks questions, anything in this regard, we discussed the 9 ways we can serve Tulsi Maharani. So, I'll now allow everyone, if you have any comments, any additions, or any questions. So thank you for tolerating me and giving me this opportunity to purify myself. I'm very, very grateful to all of you. If anyone has any comments, questions, reflections, corrections, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So nice class, Prabhu. Thank you. Can I suggest to wear Tulsi Mala to any non-devotees who is non-vegetarian?
You said, can we tell them to wear?
Yeah.
See, this is the beauty of the Shastra and the spiritual master. Uh, in the olden age, the devotees would not even accept prasadam, or not even sometimes go to a person who is not wearing tulsi mala, but they would want to do Vaishnav seva. They had some little desire. So in that transcendental way, they will trick them, right? So okay, you want me to come, I'll come, but you have to put tulsi mala. But you have to put tulsi mala. That means you have to follow certain things. So we should we should again, we should encourage them about the importance of being vegetarian, and then if they tell them that if they follow those principles, then uh, we can ask them. That's the general practice. There may be some exceptions, but that's the general practice which is followed in currently.
But
So
if they eat onion, garlic, and egg, is that okay or what?
that's what I'm saying. They have to follow them. You have to pay the price. It's like, I want to buy diamonds, but you have to pay the price to buy the diamonds. So we have to tell that, Lord, you are more important to me than X. So if they pay the price, so it's like, trying to get something. Oh, I want the benefits of Tulasi, but don't want to pay the price. Then that is cheating, right? So gradually, gradually encourage. So they they can serve in other ways, and gradually they can wear. Some devotees say, but as I said, the general practice is to follow the four regulative principles, especially the no meat eating, etc. Then only they wear. That's the Otherwise it sets the bad example also, right? If someone, let's say, is smoking on the street and wearing tulsi mala, and they say, oh, look at this, that's tulsi, the people who wear tulsi are smokers, right? Or if someone is eating hamburger on McDonald's wearing tulsi, and say, oh, these people eat meat, right? So it will corrupt the whole. Uh, so we should not encourage uh, others who are doing. So rather, we should gradually be empathetic and try to help them so that they can stop those wrong things and then take the right things. So chanting, everyone can do. So chanting, they encourage chanting. Give Tulsi Marana so you can offer at your altar and give it to them. So gradually pray to Tulsi Marani to help them, and Krishna will reciprocate. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
you are saying like the Tulsi plant we should not use for the medicinal purpose, right? But my question is like after offering to Krishna, can we use it for medicinal purpose or no?
After offering to Krishna, I mean, we certainly take the Tulsi Marani in through water or in the bhoga. We don't throw it for sure. We should never throw it out. We should take it
Mm-hmm.
inside. But the goal is
Okay.
not. We should treat it in the mood that, oh, this has touched the body of the Lord. This is that all Pavani Tulasi Vishwa Pujita Vishwa Pavani. With that intention, medical is like a residual effect, right? If we take with the
Okay.
medical intention, then we will lose the spiritual intention. So
Okay.
our spiritual intention should be million times higher than the so that even it's like a in a if it helps medically, that's like the residual effect. But I'm not offering to Krishna so that after that I can eat as a medicine. If that's the intention, then the love or the bhakti is missing from there. Are you getting the point? I'm offering it
Yes.
because Lord is pleased with this. So I can purify myself, not because I can after that like stamp it that I have put it to Krishna, now I can legally take it. So the
Hmm.
intention, the whole bhakti is a movement of intention or consciousness.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other comments, questions, corrections?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question.
Ji.
Like when we offer the leaves to Krishna, like baby leaves and whole grown, so which leaf we should pick up, like baby manjari, full grown manjari, or the dry one?
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. I asked one devotee in Namrasa Prabhu, and they have very nice Tulasi Maharani. And so I asked this question. So he said that Lord Chaitanya told that they used to offer not hard manjaris. So I asked, should we offer flowering manjaris or should we offer baby manjaris? So I'm just repeating what he told me. He said that we should offer soft manjaris, not hard manjaris, not when they have like a stem or they're flowering. It become a little hard. And of course, they take the energy of Tulsi Maharani also. So that's why we should not let them grow a lot. So, in short, baby manjaris.
But Prabhu, like when they grow, they have some baby leaves coming up also. So is that okay to offer the baby manjari? Because on the top of that, you can see the small leaves is coming.
Correct, correct.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, see, the whole intent is to offer with love and devotion. It's not that if someone is offering, oh, you have to offer at 1 centimeter. If it's 1.5 centimeter, it's an aparad. It's not like that. Krishna sees our intention, and yeah. So don't overcomplicate that. You don't have to measure every manjari, every leaf, and even if something is, the tulsi is so pure, of course we should try to choose fresh leaves, the ones which are good, because we want to offer the best. But nonetheless, if some has fallen on the ground because of air or any reason, or if someone is little dark, that can also be offered. It is all purifying. So don't overcomplicate that, I would say.
thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Pranam. Can I ask a question?
Sure, Prabhu, please.
Prabhuji, I have heard from different devotees, a little different. So we should not, take the manjaris or leaves on Ekadashi and Dwadashi. So is it both days, Prabhuji? We should not pluck.
Yes, it is interesting. It is interesting that this topic, me and my wife, as I was preparing for this, I was discussing. So I heard multiple lectures, and His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu in his book of Tulsi Maharani, which I have right here, The Glories of Tulsi Maharani. He also mentions Dwadashi. I checked with Prashant Mukund Prabhu, who's a very senior Vaishnava. He also mentions Dwadashi. So, so I put that. Again, this is not me what I'm saying. This is what I'm just repeating from different Vaishnavas. So
So both days, right, Prabhuji? Both days, it's okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. One more question, Prabhuji, if you don't mind. I have also heard that, we should, some devotees say that we have to pluck manjaris after sunset, sorry, after sunrise. But I have also heard that, just before sunrise or something like that. Is there any specific time we have to? I have heard differently, Prabhuji, from ISKCON devotees only, so a little confused on that one.
yeah, so I don't want to add that you may have already heard from 4 or 5. I don't want to be the sixth one and say something. So Prabhupada always said, use common sense. Nighttime we should not disturb. We should, when we are awake, Tulsi Maharani is awake in the temples, they're chanting. Nighttime we should not disturb. And yes, yeah, so see based on situations. Generally, it's done in the mornings or in the daylight. Yeah, but as I said, we have to sometimes use uh, the our intelligence based on Guru Sadhu Shastra.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hi, Prabhuji. I have a question about that. Can we put the fertilizer in Tulsi?
Yeah, there are a lot of technical questions. These fertilizer, the best fertilizer is gobar. Put cow dung, right? So we can put cow dung or use only organic stuff. We should not put the harmful things even for food. What to speak of other things? We should try to get as far as possible organic things only to offer to deities, to offer to Vaishnavas. Why should we offer chemicals to devotees, to deities? We should try to offer best thing to the Lord and to the devotees. So why should we give Tulsi Maharani is a great devotee? Why should we give chemicals to her? Does that help?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so my senior Vaishnava is saying that organic fertilizer contains sometimes animal products. This is, Kali Yuga has gone so crazy that it's organic, but it contains animal products. So we should carefully, read the ingredients, the milk we are getting, the fertilizers we are getting, the medicines we are getting, everything we should be very careful. The masalas we are getting, in reading the ingredients carefully and be cautious. Best is gobar. Does not contain it's gobar is all purifying. If you can somehow get cow dung from that's best. Even you can get dry cow patties. It's or even if you don't have, you can ask like New Vrindavan or to mail it to you, right? Of course, it is not like a perishable thing, so it can certainly be mailed also, even if you live a place where there are no cow farms. So
Prabhuji, dry cow dung is available in Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot.
that's nice. That's good. That's nice. Thank you for
I also sell like cow dung with soil mixed in Home Depot. It's very
yeah, but just you have to be careful on the ingredients. So yeah, just
yes.
read the ingredients carefully and out of the 5 aspects of deity worship, one is to carefully select the ingredients. So when we are doing deity worship, we are offering bhoga, naivedya, etc. One aspect is to carefully select the ingredients. So we must not take things for granted. Oh, get milk. We have to make kheer. You should not get any milk. Oh, get masala. Oh, get this thing. Especially in this day and age, we have to be very, very careful. And it leads to diseases also. So it's not good for the deities, not good for devotees, not good for our own family. Why should we? Even if it costs a couple of dollars extra, you know, it's worth spending rather than feeding unhealthy things to deities and to devotees. One devotee was mentioning, yes, they started to give nice cow milk to the deities, and the deities, that their clothing became tight. Earlier, they were offering the vitamin D mix with Krishna didn't like it. Krishna was growing weaker. When they offered nice milk, then Krishna's body, is healthy, chubby, and the deity's clothing was tight. This is not, for those who don't have faith, will consider this as some fairy tale, but those who have faith will value it with great love and devotion. Okay, so please inspire others also. There's so many things we discussed. And again, thank you so much to all the Vaishnavas, and special gratitude to those who joined first time. Sandeep Prabhu's there, Sridhama Prabhu's there, and one devotee, Yatika Mataji, and Vani Mataji, Purvi Mataji. Thank you so much to all Vaishnavas, especially with those who joined first time. My deepest gratitude. If I misspoke, you want to correct me, I'm always, I live to be corrected. So please keep me under your shelter, blessings and guidance. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Shri Kartik Upas ki jai. Shri Tulsi Vivaha ki jai. Shri Bhishma Panchak ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai.
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 Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha
Kripasindudevacha
patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.